The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, had on Tuesday a telephone conversation with his Tunisian counterpart, Kais Said, whom he congratulated on the occasion of the installation of the new government. The strengthening of bilateral cooperation in various fields will be the focus of the planned visit of the President of the Republic to Tunisia.
The Lieutenant General of the Army, Said Shengriha, Chief of Staff of the National People's Army, was received on Tuesday by the President of the Republic of Serbia, Alexander Vučić, to whom he delivered a handwritten letter from the President of the Republic, Supreme Chief of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense, Abdelmajid Tebboune, sending him greetings to him personally, as well as to the friendly Serbian people. This audience, which took place on the second day of the official visit of the Lieutenant General of the Army, was marked by the presence of the Algerian ambassador in Belgrade and the military delegation for the Algerian side, and the defense minister, the chief of staff of the Serbian Army's forces, the Serbian ambassador in Algiers, and the chairman and CEO of the Yogo Import Company for the Serbian side. On this occasion, the Lieutenant General spoke of the Algerian-Serbian cooperation relations that date back to the 50s of the last century, or during the time of the glorious Liberation Revolution. He stressed that this heritage was consolidated after independence thanks to the multifaceted exchanges and close diplomatic cooperation, in particular in line with the framework of the non-aligned countries movement, which included, among other leaders, the deceased former President Houari Boumediene and Josep Broz Tito, who had sincerely worked to meet the challenges of this important historical period. The Lieutenant General of the Army, Chief of Staff of the AMP, also met with the Chief of Staff of the Serbian Armed Forces, General of the Army, Milan Mojsilovic, in the presence of the Algerian military delegation and senior officials of the Serbian Army. The talks mainly focused on the different areas of e-partnership and military cooperation between the armies of the two friendly countries. The Lieutenant General of the Army attended the official opening ceremony of the 10th edition of the International Exhibition of Armaments Partner 2021, chaired by Alexander Vučić, President of the Republic of Serbia. After the opening ceremony, the Lieutenant General of the Army visited with the accompanying delegation the stands of the exhibition, where he inquired about the various armaments and weapon systems. In this context, he received exhaustive explanations and attended presentations by representatives of the producing companies.
The President of the Council of the National Upper House of Parliament, Salah Goujil, received on Tuesday the senior Palestinian judge and advisor to the Palestinian President for Religious Affairs and Islamic Relations, Mahmoud Sidqi Al-Habbash. The talks between the two parties focused on bilateral relations and the exchange of views on the latest developments in the Palestinian cause. The meeting allowed Salah Goujil to reaffirm that the constancy of Algeria's principled positions with the regard of the people's struggle against colonialism stemming for its liberal revolutionary ideology and its principles loyal to Arab nationalism. In a keynote speech, Mahmoud Sidqi Al-Habbash said, "Algeria has always been on the side of Palestine and will always remain. We are currently at the level of the Council of the Nation, where we have exposed the situation prevailing in Palestine and the difficulties faced by the Palestinians who are fighting against the Zionist occupier, a continuous struggle of the Palestinians to regain independence and freedom and to build the independent Palestinian state."
Mahmoud Sidqi Al-Habbash was also received by the President of the National People's Assembly, or Lower House of Parliament, Brahim Boughali. The two sides discussed different fields of cooperation.
The World Trade Organization, WTO, should allow Algeria to facilitate its trade and conquer foreign markets, as stated on Tuesday in Algiers by Reda Ter, the president of the National Economic, Social and Environmental Council, CNESO, which held a seminar under the theme Algeria and the World Trade Organization, What Future? Ter underlined that the fair free exchange rules established by organizations such as the WTO would allow Algeria to explore foreign markets, which will give an impetus to the production apparatus, as he put it.
The Agriculture Minister Abdelhamid Hamdani held a national meeting which brought together professionals to develop the agriculture sector in order to achieve food security. This is an important meeting following the seminar held last April, during which we addressed the main concerns of the promotion of structural agricultural investment. The seminar was crowned with a series of recommendations, in particular agriculture land, irrigation, as well as structural strengthening of the food industry. In front of a host of potential investors as well as the Governor Olwali, eligibility certificates were given to agriculture investors to promote their projects. 3,000 hectares of land in the province of Mnia are to be invested over the next 3 years. We will create 7,000 job opportunities. Major facilitations have been made to achieve a sustainable agriculture investment and put an end to bureaucracy, thus allowing investors to embark on projects creating job opportunities and reducing the heavy import bill.
The Sahrawi people celebrated on Tuesday the 46th anniversary of the proclamation of national unity against the backdrop of resumption of the armed struggle after the ceasefire violation by Morocco since 1991. The Sahrawi people remain attached to their right to self-determination when this process is deadlocked. October 12, 1975, a memorable day where all the participants formed the General Assembly created by Spain, proclaimed their membership in the Polisario Front, now the unique and legitimate representative of the Sahrawi people. The commemoration of the proclamation of Sahrawi national unity comes this year in a context marked by the resumption of hostilities following the brutal breach of the ceasefire by the Moroccan occupation forces in the buffer zone of Gargaret, November 13, 2020, in blatant violation of the military agreements signed by both parties. The personal envoy for Western Sahara, de Mistura, was appointed following the resignation of the German Horst Kohler, called for facilitating a vigorous and time-limited peace process. History will remember that de Mistura succeeded with the UN's Secretary General in reactivating international legality in Western Sahara. Algeria, which keeps supporting the Sahrawi cause through its foreign policy based on the people's right to self-determination, once again illustrated following the decision taken by the General Court of the European Union concerning the two agreements on fisheries and agriculture linking Morocco to the AU and extended to Sahrawi territories.